Hey guys, Scott here again with the Loadout Room. Today what we got is the SOG Bowie. This was originated from the guys in the Mac VSOG units in Vietnam. What SOG company did was take the original knife they used and created a replica. So that's the knife we're going to use today. We're going to put it through a few simple survival scenarios. We're going to make a fire with it, make a primitive spear, and just some other small weapons that you may need if you were in the evasion scenario of some sort, to where you needed to use the environment around you to survive and thrive. So stay tuned. I'm going to reposition the camera. We're going to get a fire going here today. It's a little bit cold out here. It's wet and drizzly, so it's ideal conditions to practice our skills. So stand by. Alright, so what we got here, I just got cleared out some of the wet leaves and debris that we have. So if we're in a cold weather environment, we need to get a fire going quick. What we're going to use today is obviously the SOG Bowie is our knife. The ferro rod, and here we got our knife, ferro rod. And what we're using today, since this is kind of an emergency scenario and we need fire now, we use one of these fire micro inferno discs that you can find at the Pathfinder store. I'll put links to that in the bottom of the video. But all we're going to do is just rip this apart to expand some fine fibers. This is going to get our initial flame. It's impregnated with a fire accelerant material that once it takes a spark or a flame, this will burn for about 5 to 7 minutes. Make sure we can get some sparks off of this guy. Okay. And as you can see, we got flame there pretty quick. So at this point, that's going to burn for about 5 or 7 minutes. What I'm going to do with this is just create little, they call feather sticks. This just gives this fat wood a little bit more surface area for the flames to catch on. Fat wood burns very hot and it burns long, so it gives you time to get other tinder on the fire that may be damp. Let me tell you, this knife really slices through this quick. So what we'll do is we'll put our fat wood on there. At this point, guys, we can walk away and get tinder and put on the fire and get us a sustainable fire that we can get warm with and survive with. With this fire, we can also cook our food with, we can disinfect our water with, keep our core temperature up. So fire is life, guys, when you're in a survival situation. So what I've got here, some dry pine. Pine is king when it comes to fire. So what we'll do is get some of that on there. This is dead standing, so it was not on the ground. Therefore, it will burn quick. We'll just get a little fire going here to keep us warm while we go through some of the other skills. At this point, you can start looking for some other stuff on the ground and put that on top. As it dries out, it will burn. So there you have it, guys. We got this fire going in under 5 minutes. And the conditions are damp, it's cold, as you can tell it's windy. But we got ourselves a nice survivable fire to work off of. So that's about how easy it is. This SOG Bowie knife is one of the few knives that I've seen that has a squared off spine right here in the back that allows you to get those sparks off this fire steel. A lot of knives that have coating on them, you cannot get that fire steel to spark. This one, not a problem. So we got our fire going, guys. I'm going to reposition the camera and we'll go over some other tasks that we can use this knife for. Alright guys, next thing to do here is, what we're going to do is take this stick here, it's not too long, a couple feet long, and we're going to make a primitive spear out of it. Pretty much all that's going to involve is taking this and shaving it down into a spear point. Again, we're going to use our SOG Bowie for that. So usually I just get this on a stable surface here and start carving it down. Some of this wood is pretty hard, but you don't normally get your choice of what you're going to have to use if you're in a survivor environment, so you use what you got. That's what we're doing today. It doesn't have to be a real super sharp point, it just needs to be enough to either secure game or defend yourself. One added thing you can do with these is actually fire harden the tips. What that will do is take all the moisture out of the end of the spear to make it that much more harder and effective, especially in a defensive situation or hunting. But typically what you would do is just keep rotating this until it does turn black, and that will remove all the moisture out of it. At that point you have a pretty, you can see how it's starting to darken up a little bit, but it's not super sharp, but you know, it's enough to get in the ground. You could take small game down with this. You could even take a person down with it if you had to. So that's pretty much all there is to a primitive spear. You just need to find a pretty good straight stick, get the end of it carved down for you. If you have the opportunity, go ahead and fire harden it, because that's going to make it more of an effective weapon for you. Another thing you can do, which I don't recommend, you can actually lash your knife to the end of this thing. I don't bring. I'll show you how we can do that. I've got some bank line. This Bowie knife does have a lanyard hole in it that we can utilize to get started. What we'll do is, this may take a little time, guys. Just do a couple overhand knots just for the sake of time here. We're not going to get crazy with different types of knots. Just something to kind of hold it in place. Then all we're going to do is wrap it. Try and hold the knife. Well, Rambo makes this look a lot easier. Of course, he didn't show us how he made it. As long as you got some tight wraps on there. One nice thing about the SOG is it's got that palm swell at the end, which helps. And the blade sharp, because you can see that I've cut my finger. I'll just take this all the way back to the end. Like I said, I don't recommend this, but this is an option if you can't get a stick sharp enough or whatnot. And then just tie it off at the end. That there, guys, is your spear with your SOG Bowie on it. And my dog keeps wanting to sniff the end of it. Crazy German Shepherds. There you go. That's the SOG Bowie attached to my spear. So that gives you another option to take game down with, take a person down with. It's another option in the toolbox, guys. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get my knife taken off of this spear, and then we'll do one more thing to show what we can do with this. Alright guys, we've got a few smaller pieces of wood here, probably anywhere from 6 to 8 inches long. What we can do with these, you can make trap triggers with them. You can carve points out of them just to give you a little handheld weapon. You can make tent stakes out of them. There's a lot of different things you can do. And this SOG knife will just get any knots. Just chops right through it. Like I said, you have to work with what you got, and this SOG Bowie pretty much will do it all for you. Kind of along the same lines of making the primitive spear, except these are just smaller versions. Like I said, you can use them as a handheld weapon. If you have several people in your party, not everybody has a knife, you can construct these. At least they'll have something for a self-defense weapon. Again, you can make them, double these up as also tent pegs. This one's got a little bit of a knot in it. This does chop pretty well. Those smaller sticks, as you can see. So there we go, guys. We've got three sticks about 6 inches long that we've carved the ends out of to be either weapons You could even use these as trap triggers for primitive trapping out in the wild, whether you're trying to trap primitive game for food, or if you're trying to trap a more serious game, if you're in an evasion exercise, or scenario I should say, not exercise. But this knife will do it. And again, you know, you can take these, fire harden them in the fire, makes them even that much stronger. So we've got our spear, primitive trap triggers, tent stakes, handheld weapons, whatever you want to call it. We've got our fire going, all courtesy of the SOG Bowie. Alright guys, one last thing. This saw can perform all these different tasks for you out in the wilderness. It can help you construct shelter, it can help you construct primitive weapons, it can help you start a fire, it can help you through a lot of different situations. But you've also got to take care of it in order for it to keep doing that. If you're in an extended scenario where you have to do this every single day, you need to keep your knife sharp. SOG includes with their leather sheath that comes with this knife a knife sharpener. Sharpen this guy. Doesn't take a whole lot. A couple scrapes along each edge. I usually do about 10. Then I'll turn it over. And that's about all I'll do, guys. You can put it on your thumbnail and scrape it like that and get material coming off your thumb. It's sharp enough for me. And just to give you a little bit of a better idea of what I did here when I was sharpening it, I don't know if you can see that. You know, you just try to line it up with the angle of the blade, and all I do is just slide it down. Turn it around, do the same thing. Once I'm done doing that with the sharpening stone, SOG sheath has a nice thick leather welt on it, and what you can do with your knife is strop it after that just to give it a kind of a nice final edge. And again, you're just going to strop it like this. Just run the edge along it a few times. All that's going to do is take off any burrs that got onto the blade while you were sharpening with the stone. And that's it, guys. That's it for your knife maintenance. You know, make sure you keep the blade dry. It's got a coating on it, so it's not going to corrode easily, but you still want to keep an eye on that. So keep your knife sharp, and it'll keep your knife happy, and it'll keep you alive.